You guys see that? You guys see that? You see that? You see that? We're doing work. We are doing work here at Mythward Entertainment. Let me tell you guys what's been going on with the game. Past couple of months, as you guys all know, we were working our way towards PAX. We are working our way towards the first, as I mentioned last time, the first demo is coming out for the game. August 31st, by the way, better be there. So in preparation for that, and as we're gearing up for a closed beta for our coolest and most loyal of Eldinarites, Mythites, whatever the hell you want to call them, our loyal fans, you guys are going to get to play it here in just a couple of weeks. Like, it's right around the corner. Let's get caught up with where the game's at and what we're doing with it, so you guys know what to expect here in the near future when you guys finally get your hands on it. So a big focus of mine over these past couple of months has been visual polish. And you'll probably see a little bit of that jank when I show you some more gameplay here today, which I'm going to show you lots of. There's some elements of the visual polish that leave a lot to be desired. For example, I think that the game feel could be improved. We're working on it. The VFX and whatnot can also be improved. I'll show you a little bit of what we've done so far, but all of that is still very much a work in progress. But in terms of the actual AI, the multiplayer, and the map designs, I mean, goodness gracious, these maps are, I can't understate enough how much I think we really have accomplished something here. I mentioned this a little bit last time, but I'll show you even more with the maps today, which I think offer an even better look at what our maps are truly accomplishing in this game, even more so than the previous two maps that I showcased, which were Avern Forest and the Infernal Ward. This time, I got two new maps for you to look at. A siege map, which I will talk a little bit more about, called the Iron Citadel. It is the capital city of the Molten Legion orcs. And also, we have the first map for the Lichborn, which is the Pale Morass. But before I get into those maps, let's talk a little bit more about some of the other developments that have come along in these past couple of months. So the big thing that really derailed me in April was this massive animation overhaul that I did. So what I decided I wanted to do was clean up the movement animations, the fluidity of all of our movement, as we discussed previously. Like in this game, like your units can jump and there's lots of mobility options, which is super cool, like swimming and falling off of like cliff edges and stuff. Might even, you can climb up certain things like ladders and whatnot. And so I had to apply a lot of these new design philosophies with our animations across every rig in the game. So all of the small creatures as well, like merklings or rabbits or cows, the Chaturag, which are coming up, which is a whole different character rig than your standard humanoid, which is what most of our characters are situated on. But that character rig in particular got a lot of love. I went through and redid nearly every single animation in the entire game in terms of spells, combat, and even added a lot of new emotes and stuff, which is very fun for multiplayer as well. Speaking of visual enhancements, we've put a lot of effort into establishing a better pipeline for implementing the VFX in our game. As one of the consequences of having like somebody like me who's like a pure like artist, and then somebody like Ziad who is a pure programmer, we have difficulty kind of communicating with the art side and the programming side of things sometimes. I'm sure every game development studio struggles with this at some point, which is the value of having a technical artist, some giga-brained ubermensch that can combine both of those two fields together. But what we did is we created something called a VFX manager, which allows him to kind of create a streamlined way for me to work on VFX and then implement those in the game in a way that makes sense. It actually ties into the character's various abilities and whatnot. You know, I've been experimenting, for example, with something like this. I'm working on a Necro Bolt. I'm working on really all the VFX for all of the characters right now. But one of the first things that I'm working on in terms of that is the basic attack for the Necromancer. He's kind of like my test subject. He is successfully shooting out bolts, and they're looking pretty darn good. They could look better, but they're starting to look really good in my opinion. So I'm pretty excited about that. And there is a lot more VFX to do. You know, the Lichborn are in the game, yes, and they're kind of overpowered. No matter what I do to them, they're still overpowered. They need a lot of VFX before they're truly ready to be in your guys' hands. There's just not enough of the explosions and dark magic and whatnot. So half the time they just kind of do something, but then you don't see anything, right? Because we really just need to work on our VFX before we get this thing ready for the demo. But yeah, talking about the actual balance of the Lichborn, I've done several nerfs on these guys, but they just, you know, something about their fundamental game design just seems to be pretty darn powerful. Turns out when you can just kind of turn your enemy's units against them, and you have structures like the Crypt, which is just pumping out free units for you, and you have access to your tier 1 units right out of the game that are just suicide bomb units that run up and explode and deal hundreds of true damage to your enemies, and they move super fast. Darn, yeah, they're kind of strong. Gotta kind of nerf the Lichborn. Just keep nerf you. Get down. Just stop being so goddamn good.
Why, you little? I got you.
Stop! He's already dead.
I'm sorry, Lichborn players, but you are never going to get access to the alpha version of the Lichborn, which have just been an unstoppable menace for months. Moving on, I'd like to mention a little bit our soundtrack, our music. So not only do we have right now, not quite ready for you guys to listen to, but so close, you guys are going to get to hear the Molten Legion score and the Lichborn scores for the game very soon. Both of them are being worked very hard on by both Derek Shire and Thomas J. Peters, both of which have incredible music libraries that you should go check out, and I'll leave links to them in the description below. But they're doing some fantastic work on those scores. Then combined with Thomas Thoreau, who's done the main theme and the Air North theme, we just have an incredible arsenal of talented composers working on this game, and I'm so incredibly grateful for every minute that these guys have spent lending their beautiful talent, human talent to this game. I'm very grateful for that, and to have these guys involved. A fun thing that we're doing with the score in this game is we're challenging ourselves to make it really dynamic and interesting. Let me explore that a little bit more. So what I mean when I say that is, for example, I'm challenging the composers to compose it in a way where they compose the same theme throughout, but we have 2 different versions of that theme and they layer on top of each other. So you have a peaceful version of that faction's score, their motif, their main theme. You have a peaceful version, and then as you start to go throughout the map and enemies are nearby, or you get in minor skirmishes like you're fighting some wolves or something, or you're near one of their bases or something, well, then the peaceful track, it increases in its intensity. And it starts to layer some drums and some of the upcoming action theme. It starts to layer it on top of their score. And then when the full-on battles begin in the match, that same peaceful theme that you're listening grows and explores into the full-on action theme of that faction. Every map is going to have, in this RTS, right, unlike a lot of other RTSs, the maps in this RTS are intrinsically tied to the faction that they're representing. That's one of the exciting parts of exploring the world of Eldinar, is you get to see all of these different cultures and all of their different environments, and the music represents that. And you could hear, calm versions of that theme, but also grand epic versions of that theme as well. It's very fun the way that the score is being tackled in this game, and it's very beautiful and very varied and exciting. So I cannot wait for you guys to get to hear that even more. Hearing it and hearing a little bit of it in these videos is not enough for you guys to fully understand just how immersive and how much they really enhance the worlds that they're representing on screen. The time has come to talk about multiplayer and how that's been going. So recently we implemented multiplayer, and boy, oh boy, have we been having some fun playing these matches.
Ziara, are you gonna be able to handle that? Oh wait, I think I'm going to war. Dude, I'm trying to push into this territory though. Oh shit, that's him. It's the King of Graves! What the f?
Well, man, you're all going to die, but that's a sacrifice I'm willing to make. Do you risk anything to do it? No, just a couple.
Well, you can shoot the unit. If you shoot them before then it cancels out the explosion. They only have 195 health.
Shoot that one guy before he blows up deep.
Multiplayer's been going great. I really wanted to push for multiplayer to be in our closed beta and also in our demo coming up in August, because that is such a fun way. I mean, we can push our AI as hard as we can, and we're making huge improvements in terms of the AI. But really at the end of the day, it's very difficult to get an AI to play to give you as much of a challenge as a human being can, because if you get a good person behind these character controls and behind these factions, if you can get a good Conquest of Eldinar player, nobody's going to give you a harder challenge than that person, because human beings are just capable of coming up with some of the anyway, you guys play some some StarCraft or something, they're just capable of coming up with some of the shittiest tactics. Hive Lords carrying carrion lords in StarCraft, little Zerg ones that generate the beetle. The shit that I used to do with Tempests in StarCraft, Phoenixes, just unholy, man, awful. But yeah, you can do all sorts of crazy things in this game in terms of how cheesy you can just really get. I mean, we've been having a lot of fun with it and causing quite the headache. And this will be an interesting thing to see with more playtesting in the coming months, how once I get this out into more of your guys' hands, how you guys feel about this. I noticed one thing about the game design so far is it is just, you know, a little bit, quite snowbally, to be honest. You know, it's very friendly to any player that can get that early game advantage and really bring the heat to the enemy early. If you can shut down your opponent, they are going to have a hard time getting back up, and you can just keep kicking them while they're down.
Keep kicking him! Keep kicking him!
And it's very easy to snowball yourself into victory. It's hard to make a comeback, is what I'm trying to say. So I hope, you know, I'm flirting with some unique game design ideas, like maybe like a Horns of Redemption, and it brings in like some recovery mechanics that help reduce the player that's trying to recover, maybe gives them a little bit more gold, or like discounts their unit cost or increases their training time so that they can get back up off their feet again. However, that could also arbitrarily like elongate matches, so I'm not sure, you know, exactly what the right design ethos is to go with when it comes to strong, heavy-handed recovery mechanics. One thing's for certain, I do not like handicapping winning players, and I'm not going to do that to you guys. Me personally, fucking blue turtle shell in Mario Kart, stupid mechanic. I hate it. Dumb. Not going to do that. We're not handicapping winning players, but I would like to do something to help losing players kind of like get back into it, because there's really nothing like just getting the shit kicked out of you early and then you're stranded there just waiting to die because you can never get back up off of your feet. And meanwhile, all of the rich players just keep getting richer while the poor people just keep... Wow, this sounds a lot like modern America. Point is that probably some drastic gameplay changes are coming around, and try to balance the game out a little bit better, but I am probably gonna need your guys' help with that. And now I think it's time that I show you guys a little bit more of those two maps that I worked on. This is the Iron Citadel. The Iron Citadel is just an absolute hub of poor infrastructure. There's an upper city where the elite and the rich dine in excess. Meanwhile, the large lower class population struggles in the slums down below. The sewage is just getting poured into the street. The pollution is awful, but it's so interesting to see, you know, all of the propaganda posters and this, you know, they're lighting garbage fires and whatnot. There's something like weirdly contemporary. Although the Molten Legion are a very impoverished, you know, struggling civilization, it's almost interesting to see how some aspects of their society almost seem slightly contemporary when we look at it. You know, dumpsters and chain link stone fences or whatever. I just think it gives such a crazy, unique energy to this faction and really sets them apart from any other orc we've ever seen in fantasy, and I wouldn't have designed them any other way. And I hope you guys find it interesting to eventually raid this city too. You know, this city is a siege map, because when you guys are playing real campaigns in Conquest of Eldinar, sure, most of your matches will be the standard skirmish match, which is a traditional RTS map, left versus right side, map designs are symmetrical, so on and so forth. But there's an alternative game mode. An event is what I want it to be. A siege map is an asymmetrical map in the campaign, which serves as the ultimate confrontation between two different factions, where you can finally invade this territory's capital city and take over their territory for good. A siege is an asymmetrical battle where you have the attackers and you have the defenders. The defending city needs to man the walls, defend the gates, and hold off against them as long as possible. Attacking players will have to use tools like catapults, battering rams, and ladders in order to break their way into the city, take out the enemy, the defenders' outposts, and work their way towards destroying that monument before that time runs out. So this will provide an interesting opportunity to change up the game design and explore the very interesting asymmetrical faction designs in our game, and will also serve as a beautiful capstone to your adventures through their region as you finally take the battle to their home territory and take them out once and for all. But be careful. We'll probably also make it so you yourself, your own capital, can be sieged by other enemy factions in a campaign, and you don't want to lose your capital because it's going to be hard to get it back, probably. Finally, something that is not Arranor or Molten Legion, which have been the two factions that, you know, we've really just been developing the hell out of them and doing all of our tests with those two factions for literally years now. But as we're branching out more and more into the other factions that we're making in this game, we've made the first Lichborn map, which is the Pale Morass. The Pale Morass is a desecrated, haunted bogland, which, for any of you World of Warcraft players out there, I think you might appreciate this, because I myself am a huge fan of that game. The way that I look at this map is it's kind of like this combination of like Duskwood and the Wetlands meets Deadwind Pass or something, or whatever. Ghostlands even, you know, let's say that. It's a very macabre and dark and scary zone, and I really liked making it as dark and creepy and unsettling as possible to match the Lichborn's energy. This really comes out with just the amount of webs and stuff in the environment, and the skeletons inside the bog, which reminds me of the marshes from Lord of the Rings. Fun thing about this map too is that, you know, the lighting scenario kind of changes a lot, which I really want to continue to explore the differences, different dynamics between the day-night cycle in the game. So the lighting scenario is very warm, natural lights during the day, but turns into the sickly Lichborn green at night to give it a really dark, haunted forest vibe. And I will say to anyone who's not a fan of spiders, you are not gonna have a fun time in the zone, and I'm gonna do nothing to help you, so get over it. Anyways, moving on. I'm not sure when the next devlog is going to be, but whenever that does come out, you guys will probably get to see the Grogashi Jungle, which is the next map that I'm working on after this. Got nothing to show you today other than a little bit of concept art, but it is going to be the first Tuturig map. And it's going to be very exciting for anyone who's a Jurassic Park fan out there like me. You're going to get to see all of these maps and more, and new units, all of that in a new trailer that we're making for the game. Yeah, we want to release a brand new trailer for the launch of the demo and for PAX, and that's going to be super cool. And so you guys can expect that in about 2 months as well as we work our way towards that demo. It'll be very exciting, and I'll show off as much cool gameplay and characters and environments as possible to really make that as exciting as all can be. And speaking of Tuturig and the Grogashi Jungle, you know, knowing that they're the 4th faction or whatever, how about you guys get another little reminder? By the way, we're making an animated film that's still not going anywhere. The hatchling is coming along very well. It has kind of had to be delayed a little bit because of all of the focus being dumped on the demo itself, but that is definitely coming, and I'm really excited to share that with you guys because we've always wanted to tell stories in Eldinar, and this is our first really big opportunity to do that. So here's another teaser of the hatchling. I hope you guys are excited for that as I am. And before I go today, I'd just like to reiterate to anyone who's really excited for all this upcoming content, what you can expect from the upcoming demo in August, to really give you guys the details on that. So the demo in August is going to feature the first 3 factions of the game. You will get to play as the Kingdom of Eldinar, the Orcs of the Molten Legion, and the Undead Lichborn. All 3 of these factions will be playable in their entirety. We will also feature 5 maps. You guys will get to play on Gaelwyn Valley, Avorn Forest, the Iron Citadel, the Crag, and the Pale Morass. All of these will be playable against bots in AI with a variety of different difficulties to choose from and AI strategies to play against. You'll be able to play those in single player and or co-op. And we will also have multiplayer available to play in that demo as well. You guys will be able to set up private servers with peer-to-peer connection and play in multiplayer battles against each other. It's pretty cool. We have like a like if you disconnect, a way to reconnect to a match too, which is pretty nice if anyone has an unstable internet connection. These are all the things that will be available. Oh, we're also developing a brand new tutorial for Conquest of Eldinar, which we are dumping a lot of resources into, and it's looking very cool. Made a whole map for it, super fun. This tutorial is going to be an all-in-one comprehensive guide to how to play the game and get right into it. It teaches you everything you need to know about the action combat controls, melee, magic, and archery all included, how to build bases, how to build structures, how to upgrade your bases, and how to attack the enemy. All of this will be taught to you in the tutorial and more. So I think I got you guys pretty caught up on everything we've been up to. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video today. Remember, you guys can sign up to get access to the closed beta right now. That's literally coming up on July 10th. We are giving people access to the closed beta. Keep in mind that this is going to be a very rough closed beta. There is going to be lots of performance issues. There's going to be lots of bugs. This is not, I would not recommend signing up for this closed beta. If you're excited for a really polished, clean, super optimized product, this is for early adopters that really want to get in and give us some feedback and help us make the best game possible. That's what we need those closed beta players for in a couple of weeks. So we appreciate you guys for signing up, and we appreciate your guys' help with this so much. Furthermore, the demo comes out August 31st, a week before PAX, and we will be at PAX West in Seattle in 2026 of September, Labor Day weekend. We'll catch you guys there at a booth where you guys will get to play the game in person and hang out with the devs and talk to us and ask them questions. Lastly, I would just like to throw out a reminder. If anyone watching this really enjoys the content that we make here at Mythboard Entertainment, you know, the short films that we're producing, the game that we're making, and you guys really want to support us, I'd just like to throw out a quick reminder that we do have a Buy Me a Coffee. There's optional membership tiers there that you guys can subscribe to continue to help fund the development of our game. And there's also just one-time kind of, you know, tips or whatever if you want to throw that in there too. I don't like to bring this up too much because, to be honest, I don't need your guys' money. So if you're tight, you know, economy's rough right now. If you're tight, it's fine. Just play our game, have fun. Thank you, you know. But if you know it's there, you want to help us out a little bit more, I mean, sure, we'd appreciate it. We appreciate the helping out. All the funds from that directly go back into helping us, you know, pay for things like the booth at PAX or covering, you know, charges to help fund our composers and different things like that. So we'd be greatly appreciated. But again, always appreciated, never expected, you know. Thanks. Anyways. But yeah, thank you guys for watching this one. I've been Corey. This is Mythboard Entertainment. This is Conquest of Eldinar. We're having a fantastic time making this, and it's coming to you guys really soon. We're in the final stretch now of getting you the first version of the game, and we'll see you guys in the early access version releasing next year.